Hello, Mana here, and welcome to a quick impromptu video that doesn't really fit in with my channel, but I just want to talk about this for a few minutes because I just keep seeing video title after video title, tweet after tweet about Twitch banning gambling, and I've read this over and over, and it just doesn't say that. This is not a ban on gambling. This is a ban on the dodgiest cases, the shady ones, the ones operating from who knows where. That's all this does. This does not state any outright ban of any one type of gambling. And I've seen a number of creators go over this way too briefly to the point it bothered me because people are going to walk away not really taking away the reality of it. And so I just want to make a few points and I don't know, let me know if I'm missing something. So starting with the top paragraph, this can basically be ignored. This is basically nothing. The only thing is they're really reaffirming the fact that while we prohibit sharing links or referral codes, all sites include slots, roulette, dice game. We've seen some people circumvent those rules and expose our community to potential harm. So that's really them just reaffirming that that was not okay to begin with. So that doesn't really matter. What's really important is these two paragraphs and the way they are worded and the fact that this part is specifically split up. That's what really stands out to me. Because you got to understand, something like this doesn't come out casually. This would go through Twitch's legal department for them to review the language and make sure Twitch isn't screwing themselves by putting this out, basically. So first up, we have the statement here. So we'll be making a policy update on October 18th to prohibit the streaming of gambling sites that include slots, roulette, or dice games that aren't licensed in either the US or other jurisdictions that provide sufficient consumer protection. So notice how they list slots, roulette, or dice games. But yet down here, we will continue to allow websites to focus on sports betting, fantasy sports, and poker. These two things being split up is really important and is not something that was done without purpose. This is where I was bothered on seeing so many headlines about Twitch banning gambling, because as it states here, not a single type of gambling has actually been banned. Slots are still fine, roulette's still fine, dice games are still fine, they just have to be licensed in the US or another jurisdiction that Twitch deems okay, which that's another thing. How many other jurisdictions does Twitch think is okay? Like, and I'm not saying that they're in a suspicious way, like they will pick genuine good ones, but even if it was just the US, that would still mean that slots, roulette, and dice games have not been banned, and clearly, based on we will continue to allow websites to focus on sports, betting, fantasy sports, and poker, they have also not been banned. So there is no specific type of gambling that has been banned here. And the part about these being separated, because I don't know how any other way to take this, I could only see them doing this for those legal reasons, is because this whole aren't licensed in either US or other jurisdictions thing, this is only going to apply to slots, roulette, or dice games, meaning when it comes to sports betting, fantasy sports, and poker, they don't give a shit. They're not worried about this. Otherwise, why would you list 3 different types of gambling and then have this completely separate thing that's just sort of flat out stated as we will continue to allow? Because it's also, we will continue to allow websites for, the language of that almost makes it sound like these were banned, but they're not. It's only the slots, roulette, and dice games that are getting restricted to US or other jurisdictions that are deemed acceptable, but these are separated from that. So then that's not going to apply. And you can call that speculation, but as I said, this goes through a legal department. There's no, like, you could just keep listing them. That includes slots, roulette, sports betting, fantasy sports, poker, or dice games that aren't licensed in the US. Like that, why wouldn't you do that? The only reason you're going to do that is if, and I'm not it's like saying malicious intention or anything like that necessarily. It's more of, I think Twitch doesn't give a shit. This is to cover their ass because things have blown up and people are talking about it and they needed some good PR, especially when they were about to just drop the bomb on people about them screwing everyone on revenue. I mean, that's subjective. If you're not familiar with that, TLDR, they stopped doing 70-30 splits a while back. They only gave them to like certain people, but then they stopped doing them. Now people are on 50-50. And then even now people who are on the 70-30 split, after they earn 100K, they will go down to 50-50. Another part of that is the fact that they're not giving the 70-30 splitter means that like people who could be doing pretty well now, who are on 50-50, could get massive, but they'll never get that 70-30 that others were getting in, which doesn't start till next year. And that was a quick summary. So if you want to look more up on that. And yeah, so this came out literally a day before they updated on the revenue thing. And I said, it's been successful because everyone's saying Twitch banned gambling. Some people are doing that as like a clickbaity title and then clarifying a bit, but others aren't. They're going over this like it's just this wholly good thing, but all they're doing is cutting out the most dodgy websites. And again, to be fair, I don't want to downplay that. It is a very good thing that is happening, but is that really what people were looking for? For Twitch to go after just the worst of the worst and only for certain types of gambling? And how much is this going to really help the areas of the concern that people have? Because this is not going to help stop kids from getting into gambling, for example, or being exposed to gambling, I should say. For example, Sleeker, I'm not that familiar with the guy, but I read some about what happened recently. And one of the things he did was sports betting. And another thing I saw he himself had said that he originally got exposed to gambling essentially due to CSGO skins. So while I'm not taking away from the fact that it is a positive thing what they've done here, it is a bare minimum when you're just trying to stop the most dodgy predatory cases and nothing more. And you're still going to allow free reign over this kind of stuff that is clearly going to still influence people. Anyway, that's all I really want to say. This is just going to be a short video and hopefully I made my points. Said like this is a good thing, but people are acting like it's so much more than it is. And I think people are really naive about how this is going to play out over the coming months. You're not going to hear about it as much, but I guarantee you this is going to be happening just as much. It's just that it won't get as much attention because you won't hear about the $1 million sponsorships and stuff. Although, with that said, again, this is separate and seemingly totally fine. So why the hell would we not be seeing sponsored sports betting, fantasy sports, and poker when it's completely separated from this? I don't know, man. I feel like I'm missing something because like I've watched multiple creators that are like, I really respect and they're intelligent. They're just taking this in the most basic form and not for what it is. Like Twitch doing a bare minimum. I mean, in the end, this is Amazon we're talking about, right? Like we may enjoy their convenience services, but they're not exactly who you're going to look to for your moral compass, you know? So, you know, it is what it is. I just wanted to share my thoughts on this. And yeah, other than that, just hope you all have a good day.